Good morning, FCU. Welcome to church on this chilly, later to be rainy day. Feels like fall has finally begun to arrive. My name is Monica Pilman, and I am privileged to serve as your senior deacon here at FCU. Today is going to be a family service, so the children will be staying with us for the entire time. I think you'll find the format a little different and interesting. And my chief announcement is right here in the order of service. See this big orange block? After church is over, we're having a party downstairs in the dining room with all kinds of candies and cookies and cakes and good things to eat and drink. And also there's going to be some games and some music and some dancing. So please join us down there. Oh, and if anybody's looking for coffee, that's where that'll be too. So those of you who have these things, go ahead and please put them in church mode. We like the sound of little children in our sanctuary, but not so much the sound of these things. So thank you for coming to us today. We are looking forward to this service very much, as you can tell by my own costume. Welcome to those of us joining us online, and hopefully we will have a wonderful time together today. Thank you all so much.
Ding.
Ding. What? Oh, ding. I forgot to ding.
We must have our ding.
It's with a heavy heart that I share that Carol Tillis passed away yesterday. She was at home with Carolyn and passed as the sun was setting. We hold Carolyn and all those who loved Carol in our hearts as we grieve the loss of a friend. Grief stops by, unannounced and uninvited. It seems to appear unexpectedly, like when I'm washing the dishes or driving to work. At first, I always try to ignore it, hoping it will leave as quickly as it appeared. But it will not go away. It quietly and persistently decides to stay. I breathe deep, and it takes over. Tears roll down my face. I feel it, the grief. It embraces me. It holds me tight. And then, as quickly as it came, it leaves. My heart feels both broken and full for a few moments, and I know that grief will return, unannounced and uninvited. It always does. Now I invite Zachary to come and light our chalice. And as Zachary lights the chalice, if we could all say the words of our covenant, be on the screen. To seek truth and love and to help one another. My name is Thea Shapiro. I am the DRE. My pronouns are she, her. And I join Monica in welcoming you here, both those of you in the sanctuary and those of you online at home, to our service today. It's good to be together. If you're visiting, either for the first time or back from a previous visit, we're glad you're here. And we hope you join us downstairs for our Halloween party and coffee. And there you can get to learn about FCU by talking to whoever's around. And if you want to learn more about us, you could go to fculittle.org online. And I'm glad you're all here this morning. Whoa, sorry. Our opening hymn this morning, oh wait, we need our costume parade. How could I forget? So if you're in a costume or just want to be part of a parade, which is just as viable, line up by the candles. Come on, you guys, you got costumes. I'll direct. Oh my goodness, that spider. Are we ready? Almost. And walk around twice so everyone gets to see you. Oh no, you have to wear those. Yeah. Oh, you guys look wonderful. Are we ready? We're almost ready. We had to put a couple costumes on. Okay. Proceed. round of applause for our costumers. You guys look awesome, all of you. So our opening hymn, it can be kind of rowdy, so let's get into it. It's called When the Spirit Says Do. It's number 1024 in your green hymnal. So get into it, because it's fun.
You don't need the hymnal.
You don't need the hymnal? It's up.
Word changes.
That's right, it's really easy. So rise if you're willing and able, and get into singing. Is it on?
A little bit of second break.
Don't stand so close.
Good morning. My name is David.
I'm Thea.
What's that?
We need to be a little farther.
Okay. How does this sound?
Got it. Okay.
Our story, our time for all ages this morning is called simply Two Pumpkins. This is Jack.
This is Honey.
For a few weeks now, Jack and Honey have been living on the front porch of a house not too far from here.
I like how they sit together, side by side.
Just like two old friends.
If pumpkin friends could talk, what do you think they would say? Okay, like that? He has a better, louder voice. Thank you. Thank you.
Just to review, Honey, Jack.
Jack. All right.
You were wondering what pumpkins would say if they
Yes.
could talk? Well, I'd imagine that they would talk about the usual things. Where they've been, what they're doing,
I'll be
where
Honey
they're
and
going.
I'll be Honey and you be Jack.
I like that. Let's do that. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Honey,
Yes, Jack.
do you remember the patch?
The patch?
Yes, Honey, the pumpkin patch.
I sure do. That's where we met.
Wasn't the patch so peaceful?
It sure was. It was the best.
I miss the patch. I miss all the pumpkins. I miss the smell of the wet, dark soil. I never wanted to leave.
Every pumpkin has to leave the patch.
Some don't leave. Some pumpkins stay.
Yeah, but the pumpkins that stay, they grow soft and brown and they turn to compost.
Doesn't every pumpkin eventually get soft and brown and turn to compost?
I suppose, but a pumpkin might as well look around the world first.
Yeah, I suppose.
Woodchucks!
Woodchucks? Woodchucks? Who? Where? How many?
I mean, do you remember those crazy woodchucks in the patch? You don't miss them, do you, Jack?
Oh, no, those crazy woodchucks. I don't miss them at all. Hey, Honey,
Yeah,
remember the farm stand?
I sure do. We rode on the truck to the farm stand.
Wasn't the farm stand exciting?
It sure was. It was the best.
People would come and go all day. They'd pick us up. They'd put us down. They'd pick us up and put us down again. Sometimes they would take us for a ride in this little wagon. I miss the farm stand. I never wanted to leave.
Yeah, but Jack, do you also remember how people would smack our bottoms and shake us?
Yes, I remember. I don't miss that. Why would they do that, honey?
I don't know, Jack, but I don't miss it either. And do you remember what happened to Hugo?
Oh, yes. They picked up Hugo, and then they dropped him.
Oh, poor Hugo.
Poor Hugo. But hey, that does remind me of a joke. When is a pumpkin not a pumpkin?
I give up. When is a pumpkin not a pumpkin?
When you drop it, then it's squash.
Oh, good one.
Hey, honey,
Yeah?
isn't it beautiful right here on the porch?
It sure is, Jack. It's the best.
I like watching everything.
Yeah, I like when the mail carrier delivers big packages.
I like when the wind knocks over the garbage can.
Hired sunflowers bend over so far their faces touch the ground.
I like when the lady comes home and lights my fire. And I feel full of light and warmth. Oh, that's the best.
It sure is. It's the best, but...
But what, honey?
But Jack, I wonder what happens next.
Next?
Yeah, what happens next to us? I mean, you are positively glowing, but I don't have light and warmth. What happens next to me?
Oh, honey, I bet you're destined for something special.
Really? How special? Like compost special?
Now, honey, don't you start. You know every pumpkin gets to be compost eventually.
Yeah, I know. Maybe, Jack, maybe I could be a centerpiece on a dining room table.
You sure have the looks, honey.
Or maybe the children will take me to the school fair.
That could be fun.
Or maybe I'll add some flavor to a pumpkin spice latte.
Honey, now you're just being silly.
Pumpkin soda, then?
Ugh. Ugh.
Wait, I know what I want.
Yes? Yes? Yeah.
Pumpkin pie!
Wouldn't pumpkin pie be the best?
It sure would. It would be the best.
Hey, that reminds me of another joke. What do you get if you divide the circumference of a pumpkin by its diameter?
I don't know, Jack. What do you get if you divide the circumference of a pumpkin by its diameter?
Pumpkin pie! Yeah, pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie.
Honey, isn't it beautiful here? Isn't it beautiful? Right here.
It sure is, Jack. Right here, right now. It's the best. I imagine Jack and Honey will be sitting on the porch and talking late into the night. I imagine they'll watch the last rays of sun bathe the street in a beautiful orange-red light. Soon it will be Halloween, and the two pumpkins will watch monsters and princesses and ghosts and pirates walking down the street. Jack will tell a joke about trick-or-treaters. Honey will laugh. Another leaf will let go of its branch and float to the ground. A big harvest moon will rise in the west.
You know, it's funny. Sometimes I even miss those crazy woodchucks.
Test. I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. From a monster in the slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise, he did the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. It caught on in a flash. He did the monster mash from a laboratory in the castle east to the master bedroom where the vampires feast. The ghouls all came from their humble abodes to get a jolt from my electrodes. They did the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. It caught on in a flash. They did the monster mash. The zombies were having fun. The party had just begun. The guests included Wolfman, Dracula, and his son. The scene was rockin', all were diggin' the sounds. Igor on in chains, backed by the baying hounds. The coffin bangers were about to arrive with their vocal group, the Crypt-Knickers 5. They played the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. It caught on in a flash. They played the monster mash. Out of his coffin, Drac's voice did ring. Seems he was troubled by just one thing. He opened the lid and he shook his fist and said, "Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist? It's now the monster mash. It's a graveyard smash. It caught on in a flash. It's now the monster mash. Now everything's cool, Drac's a part of the band, and my monster mash is a hit of the land. For you, the living, this mash was meant to. When you get to the door, tell them Boris sent you. Then you can monster mash and do my graveyard smash. You'll catch on in a flash. Then you can monster mash. Monster mash. Monster mash. Monster mash. Monster mash.
That was awesome. Thank you. This is the time where we take our offertory. The life and ministry of this congregation is made possible by the many gifts given by our members and friends. Gifts of time, talent, energy, and commitment, along with your financial support. With this in mind, let us receive our morning offertory. Please share with me the community reading up on the screens. We are grateful for this opportunity to live and serve, and grateful for the gifts we have received. This is our ministries of our church community, both within and beyond these walls. This morning we're going to take the opportunity to share our joys and sorrows and concerns. Please come up if you'd like, or a mic can be brought to you if you have something to share. Is that correct? I'm sorry?
They go to the front now,
You-
on the side of the wall, and if they can't, then a mic.
Okay, thank you. So you guys sort of know what to do. And then we can take from people online as well. I invite you to open your hearts, open your minds, focus on all the joys and sorrows and how life holds both all day, every day, and that's part of being human. Amen, and blessed be. So my service is called Fear Lite, L-I-T-E. There were 3 of us, 3 teenage girls. I was the one who ended up sitting next to a stranger. My friends sat together behind me. My hands were holding the bar in front of me as tightly as they could. I smiled at the girl next to me with that kind of scared smile, and she smiled back. We didn't speak. Slowly, we started moving, very slowly. We looked at each other, and I was holding my breath. We were going up, straight up. We got to the top and stopped. And then all of a sudden, we went straight down, faster than I ever imagined we could. I screamed. I don't know if the girl next to me did or not. And again, we slowly went up. This time I thought I was ready. Except this time, we went down faster and we went upside down. And again, I screamed. This time, my hands were sweating while I was trying to hold the bar. We went up and down, upside down, and finally came to a stop. At last, I could breathe again. We looked at each other, the stranger and I, and laughed. And my friends came up to me, and we were all yelling excitedly about how scared we were. Being scared can be fun. Now, that roller coaster ride didn't turn me into an amusement park enthusiast. But I did go on a few scary rides that day, and a few other times in my life, and I enjoyed them. But to be honest, I'm not the kind of person who likes to be scared. I stay away from scary movies and stories, and I no longer like scary rides. But I am fascinated by the desire of some people to be scared. Raise your hand if you like to be scared. Raise your hand if you like to be scared by movies, by books. Rides. Oh, a lot of rides. Books and rides. Well, not surprisingly, many people love those. We know this because scary movies are a big industry. Stephen King is a best-selling author, and Halloween, with haunted houses and rides in the dark through the woods with creatures popping out and scaring you, are big business. People not only enjoy being scared, they pay for it. People's answer to the question, do you like to be scared, were surprisingly familiar. I asked plenty of people. People like the feeling of their heart racing, of the physical excitement that a roller coaster and scary movies and books give them. The safer people feel, the more they enjoy the fear. For example, a really good haunted house might scare you, but you know nothing bad will really happen to you, so it becomes fun, scary, and exciting. One other people all agree on is they love being scared with their friends and family. I remember one year on Cape Cod with a group of youth from my old church. The kids were sitting near a fire while some adults were roasting marshmallows. They were telling ghost stories to each other. They were having so much fun scaring each other. You could hear the gasps and the and the no. They were having a blast. And even though they had scared each other, they felt safe with all the other people just a few feet away from them. I looked up studies about scaring ourselves, and they all supported what people told me. In Psychology Today, the article said, when we feel safe, we have what is called controlled fear. We're scared, but we're safe, so we can enjoy that feeling. The study talked about the adrenaline rush produced by the release of chemicals in our brains, endorphins and dopamines, chemicals that make us feel good. One study said that when we see scary movies with friends, we feel closer to them afterwards. There's also a sense of self-satisfaction. You did something you have bragging rights to, like having gone on a roller coaster or something like a scream fest or a horror movie. And then, of course, there's the curiosity many of us have about the dark side of things in life, the things that lurk in the shadows, about ourselves and others. I didn't know this, but some of us are genetically predisposed to fear. There's been a bit of science on and discussions about how serotonin and other inherited physical responses affect how we respond to fear. And some of us have traumatic experiences that we carry, and we need to be especially careful about protecting ourselves so our fears don't take over. All of us can create something to be afraid of in our own minds. Anything from being on an airplane, to making a mistake at school, to speaking in public. The list goes on. The problem is that fear often works overtime. Mark Twain said it well when he quipped, "I've been through some terrible things in my life, some of which actually happened." Think for just a minute about all the time you've spent fearful and worrying. Looking back, you might see that much of what you had fearfully anticipated turned out fine. Sometimes moments in our lives that could have been full of love and creativity and presence were taken over by habitual fear. And I think that's the spiritual lesson of fear, not to let it take over. We need to look at what scares us to the point of avoiding things and figure out how to conquer that. On my trip to Greece, there was a woman in the group. She was 80 years old, and she had just started traveling. She was petrified of heights. She does fly, but she's medicated and closes the blinds. We rode up and down winding mountains that were half a mile up from sea level. And by the end of the week, she was looking out the window and talking about how beautiful the scenery was. She said she only felt a little nervous by the end of the week versus terrified at the beginning of the week. She faced her fear and pretty much conquered it. So this Halloween, get together with people you love who make you feel safe and go scare yourself silly. I might even try a scary movie this year, but don't count on it. What do we do next? Our closing hymn is When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. It's 10:08 in the book, and it will be up on the screen. Please stand and rise if you're able and willing. Stay standing, and if you like, hold each other's hands or touch elbows or however you're most comfortable. David, you can hold his hand. And I invite you for a few moments to notice each other, to recognize that the world can be incredibly difficult. And yet we can bring kindness, peace, and love in here and to the world beyond. Go in peace.